From Viking invasions to Roman occupation, from countryside to coast, from historic wars between the English and the Scots to modern warfare, from a Scottish queen to a gypsy queen, from an artist from Manchester who regularly painted here to a local heroine who became a national icon, to boots discarded from weary walkers, from churches and abbeys to the ruins of priories, and stunning scenery on the way. Join us over the next few weeks as we follow the route of the stunning Northumberland 250. Come over from the church, just across the road, to the Grace Darling Museum. Hello. Oh. Thank you very much. No.
So play it into the door there.
Okay.
When you get into the second room, we've got the boat that Grace and her father rowed out to the rescue with.
Yeah.
If you'd like to watch a short video in that room, there's a button on the door on the left as you go through.
Lovely.
And we've got a viewing window upstairs, gives you a great view of the memorial and the family.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. To number 3, rescue route of Grace and William Darling. They rode a fair way, didn't they?
They did.
And lighthouses in 1838.
Just the two of them.
In a farm in Longstone Island. Dangerous areas, I bet there's a lot light up here. Oh wow, yes. We're in the museum now. We started at the wrong end probably, but in the spring of 1842, 3 years after the famous rescue, Grace caught what she thought was a cold. It's more like the likely that she had tuberculosis, known commonly as the consumption then, a very serious illness. Grace went on to recover with her sister in Bamburgh, but unfortunately a consumption of well-wishers disturbed her rest, and in August they moved again to Woolwich. She continued to improve and became worse. And Grace was educated at home. The family lived first in the cottage next to the lighthouse on Brownsman Island. It was an extremely crowded but happy home with all the family together. Brownsman Island was enchanting. William had built a garden enclosed by walls to protect the plants, and children helped with growing vegetables and flowers. They also kept sheep and had a dog called Happy. They made extra money by selling ducks for the table and their feathers for quilts. Keith's just pressing. This shows us the levels of the lighthouse.
So the ground floor is the main living area.
And there's the dog Happy, which is a collie.
First floor, the boys' bedroom. Second floor is the parents' bedroom. On the third floor, the girls' bedroom. On the top floor is the storeroom and school room.
And then the light on top.
We have one of those.
A sailmaker's palm.
Yeah, we've got one of those at home.
An impressive museum.
This is
The Coble, the actual boat.
Cobble,
Coble.
the actual boat that Grace Darling rowed. To help rescue seamen. Well, that's a famous painting of her, isn't it?
It is, yes, I've seen that one before. This is a timeline. What happened? We're going backwards. Start at the beginning. Late evening of Wednesday the 5th of October? No, don't know when it was. The Forfarshire left hull. The boiler's found to be leaky and the steamer can't travel at full speed. On the 6th, it reaches Northumberland coast. The weather gets worse with the wind fresh from the southeast, heavy mist and large swell. At 3 PM to 4 PM the engine stopped working and the Captain Humble, orders the crew to hoist the sails. Between 4 and 8 PM the wind increases to hurricane force. The Forfarshire reaches St Abb's Head just north of Berwick and she drifts southwards towards Berwick Bay. 8 PM Thursday to 3 AM Friday. Heavy rain and fog. The Forfarshire sails from Berwick Bay to the area of the Farne Islands. And it continues. Then at 4:45 AM to 6:45 AM, Grace Darling, on watch from a bedroom, notices that a ship is wrecked upon Harcourt Rock. And then it goes on about the rescue. And then there's an extract from a letter that Grace Darling wrote. I had little thought of anything but to exert myself to the utmost. My spirit was worked up by the sight of such a dreadful affair that I can imagine I can still see the sea flying over the vessel. Members of Victorian society were amazed that a young woman had taken part in such a daring rescue. As news spread, journalists and artists flocked to Longstone Lighthouse. One of the first to arrive was sculptor David Dunbar, whose marble bust of Grace could be seen in the museum foyer. Requests from artists for William and Grace to sit for sketches flooded in. Sitting for 7 portraits in 12 days was exhausting. Many artists were the paparazzi of their day, in the time before photographs. And there's a picture of Grace Darling with Queen Victoria. Grace received medals from respected bodies, including the Silver Medal of the National Institution for the Preservation of Life from Shipwreck, now the RNLI. Both Grace and her father William received them, and she was the first ever female recipient. A fund was set up for the rescuers. The new 19-year-old Queen Victoria donated £50. And well-wishers gave £800 for Grace, £175 for her father William, and £161 for the Northumberland boatman. You know, when they do new notes and coins, she'd be a prime example of somebody who should be on them, really, shouldn't she? I don't think she ever has been.
No. Florence Nightingale has.
Yeah.
That's about the only
I
one.
don't think Grace Darling has, but she deserves one. We've come upstairs now to the viewing area, and over there you can see the memorial where we just were. It's a church. There's Darling Cottage, where she was born. The memorial we've looked at. The gravestone, we didn't find that. The church, the window that we did see.
Presumably, it's that one with the railings round, looking at the picture.
Ah, right, well, we might just nip back over to that then. There's the pantry where we saw the plaque. Bamburgh Castle that we've been to. Northumberland and sea houses. We got sea houses earlier. In Grace's day, the lifeboat crew were fishermen from the village of Northumberland. The fishing and lime trades expanded the village to the area around the harbour, which later became known as sea houses. The Darling family lived on Brownsman Island, then Longstone, which are among 28 islands making up the Farnes. And there are many dangers for sailors, as some are hidden beneath the sea. As in Grace's time, the islands are home to many species of seabird, including puffins, eiders, razorbills and cormorants. And that's where we would have been going on the boat trip. We would, if it hadn't been so windy. And these are mementos. Inspired by Grace. From the moment Grace became famous, there was a demand for mementos. The earliest were made from the wreckage of the SS Forfarshire. Commercial firms soon began to produce collectibles and use Grace's story to promote their own products. Her image remains a marketing tool today. There were snuff boxes, miniature busts, glass cobbles, tin, tea, chocolate and cigarette boxes, pottery jugs, needle cases, china mugs, souvenir telescopes and badges, china figurines, Staffordshire pottery models of her, like that, there. Northumbria pottery models of Grace and her father, zebra fire grates or fire tidies, books written about her. It's amazing just what influence she had on collectibles, isn't it?
It is.
If you're in Bamburgh, don't miss this museum. Another picture of Grace and her father, the lighthouse. We'll finish the museum with a marble bust that we mentioned a few minutes ago. The bust of Grace Darling, but the original was for the Bishop of Durham, Dr. Maltby. Back in the graveyard. Now we know where the grave is. We'll come and pay our respects.
So it's the family plot, isn't it?
It is.
That's where Grace is buried, along with her father and mother.
She had a young brother as well.
Yeah.
Job Horsley Darling. He died when he was 20 years old. Looking around the graveyard again, see the castle in the distance. But we're going over the road again, backwards and forwards, to and froing.
And we got this story backwards as well.
We have, haven't we, a little bit. But
we're finding new bits to add to the story.
there's a museum. You saw the building earlier where Grace died, and just to the right of the museum is this house. Horsley Cottage now it's called. Grace Horsley Darling was born here on the 24th of November 1815, and again, like the other plaque, that was put up in 1938.
And again, if you don't look up, you miss it.
Just driving along, we saw this. Thought, oh, what's that? We'll stop and have a look. The Outchester Ducket.
Ah, Ducket. Wasn't that where the other ducket we saw near the castle? It's where they had the birds?
Yes, birds, yes.
And eggs.
Known locally as the Ducket, this tapering tower standing 4 stories high became a Grade 2 listed building in 1969. It is shown on some maps as a windmill, which I actually said there's a windmill in the distance there when we were driving along, but there's no evidence of that in its construction, and on some as a sea mark for navigation. Its last use was as a pigeon dovecote. It may have been built for visual impact as it's too tall and narrow for an ideal dovecote. The site could have had its origins as a Roman camp, which might explain the name of Cutchester. An old map shows a farmhouse and buildings on the site, while in 1824 a map shows only this tower, Cutchester having been rebuilt 600 metres from the west. Thought to be an 18th century building, ultimately to provide a sustainable supply of meat, eggs and manure, but may have soon fallen out of use.
I don't think you get in because it's automatic.
No, it is. It's an automatic gate, but just thought it looked an interesting building. Looks a nice place to stay, actually.
It says in the leaflet, ideal for honeymoons or romantic weekends.
Told it wasn't worth you getting out.
Well, we've parked up higher up the coast. We're at a place called Chiswick. It's still in the Nissan on the coastal path. I think we'll go over to the dunes and have a look at the beach. Well, we've been very fortunate with the park ups. The dogs have had plenty of opportunity of walking, whether it be in the dunes on the coast side or in the woods as we've come up through the more central Northumberland. But this is ideal. And there's the sea again. And Bay's already in the water. Nab's not so sure. Maybe in for a swim. Get down. And I have to say, sandy beaches aren't my favourite beach. I do like a shingle beach. The sand doesn't get in your shoes and all your bits. But look at that. That is a nice sandy beach. Whoops! And it nearly got me! Go on. Go on.
Role reversal. What's for tea, chef?
Sausage butty. Because we've got some bread to use up. And sausages. And sausage butty.
Sounds good to me. Pauper's tea, but it was very nice.
We had a pie at lunchtime, didn't we?
We did. We had a Scottish pie. No, Scotch pie. That was very tasty. Much nicer than the ones you buy in the supermarket. It was from the butcher's, wasn't it?
It was.
At Bamburgh.
There used to be a pie shop in Warrington that used to make them. Tomlin's.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're always warm.
I know I've bought them in supermarkets in the past and they really haven't been that nice. Been a good day again.
Yeah.
The Grace Darling was interesting. And
Yes.
what's seeing there? We'll have tea and then we'll show you on the map where we got to today and where we started and where we ended up. Got a really nice park up again. Only one other van here. It's getting windy though. That storm is supposed to hit tonight. Is it Storm Babette?
Something like that.
Thank you. Ready for this. Not many miles travelled today. We started at Sea Houses and we went up, followed the coast road to Bamburgh, and then we've followed the coast road around and we came and we parked at a place called Cheswick, a lovely little park up which we'll show you at the beginning of day 6, and then we're going to travel back a little way, but more about that in the next video. So yeah, not many miles travelled at all today, but we spent a heck of a long time in Bamburgh looking at different things. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're enjoying the Northumberland 250 trip, please stick with us. Leave your comments below. If you've not already liked any of our videos, please do like them because it all helps with the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost anything and it helps our channel to grow. Thanks so much and we'll see you for day 6. Bye.